Good evening and happy Monday night for those who celebrate. Monday Night Football, doubleheader once again coming at you. We're going to get the Dolphins and Titans in action in a little bit more than an hour. And then about halfway through that game, we'll see the kickoff of Lions and Seahawks. So you still have players in play, which you might because got 4 teams and some of them are fantasy friendly still. So you might have some tough lineup decisions to make for tonight to pull out the victory in week 4. We got you covered. So ask your start sit last minute questions. Go ahead and start looking ahead toward week 5, your waiver wire questions, of course, your trade questions, your anything questions, fantasy football related. We'll stay with you until those games are really underway. And then, of course, we already got videos out getting you ready for week 5. I will say week 4 was, I don't even know. Honestly, I haven't even looked at my matchups and whether I've won or lost anything yet. I like to wait till Monday night to do that. But it's the kind of week you have to like because lots of points, right? Lots of good things happening. There's always injuries, so whatever. But I don't know. I feel at least it was a good week of football. You know what I mean?
Yes, it's always good when we have a lot of scoring and a lot of points, for sure. Definitely. Especially the way the start of the season has been.
Yeah, exactly. It's like finally, we finally had some players show up that have been MIA for the first couple of weeks. So that's a good thing too. It's I think at least at this point we have to say, okay, we kind of get a sense of what's happening. 2 games is not enough of a time, to really assess like what, 3 maybe, but now, okay, fine. If a guy has done nothing for 4 games already, I think you can rightly assume they might not have a lot of value and vice versa. So, but of course, it always depends.
Yes.
All right. So we're going to get to your questions. We're going to get to as much as we can, of course, before those games kick off. Especially, we're going to try to prioritize those start sit or anything that has to do with tonight. So we'll pick and choose here, depending on what is dealing with. I mean, we've got Titans. There's still some fantasy value in that offense. The Dolphins should, but I don't know. I'm going to ask you to try to, because you can be objective about this. Do you think the Dolphins can, score points tonight?
I think so. They might not need to score a lot of points, though. It's the Titans, but
that's true.
I think, honestly, I'm more, even though obviously the second game will probably be better for fantasy, I'm actually more interested in the first game just to see Tyreek Hill and Waddle. Is Tyler Huntley enough to at least make them fantasy relevant, or are we going to have to continue to be like, nope, can't do it?
I mean, look, he's got experience. He has started some games for an NFL team, and not done terrible. So there's that. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm just going to try to I'll prepare for the worst, but hope for the best. All right. And then we do have, of course, some news to go over. We'll just talk real quick about this because we'll break down injuries throughout the week. But got to talk Rashee Rice here. I think they haven't come out and officially confirmed anything, even though we kind of already know, right? Andy Reid said it's not good. Is it official? Unless maybe it's not official. I don't know.
No, it's not official. And I feel like this, maybe I'm overly optimistic, but this makes me feel good. Like if it's an ACL tear, they would just come out and be like, yeah, it's an ACL tear. Season's over. Like there's no, but you don't need further testing on an ACL tear. Like it's torn. Okay, you're done. Like you don't need further testing. You know what I mean? Like, so, and the guy, the one Twitter doctor, I guess you can call him, that I actually do go to for my injury news, who is mostly accurate. I mean, he's not 100%, but he's mostly accurate. He said to him it looked like a thigh contusion and a hyperextended knee.
That's different than an ACL tear.
Yeah, so I do think. I mean, that doesn't mean it's not. It doesn't mean it's like it doesn't mean it's no big deal. I mean, it's still a big deal. Andy Reid already said he's not playing this week, and he probably will miss some time. But I do like we've never had a guy tear his ACL. Usually, we know like that night they're like, yeah, it's torn because again, from what I understand, and I'm not a doctor, you can actually do an ACL test without any MRI, and then the MRI just confirms that yes, it's torn. Like you can do a test that will be like, yep, your ACL is torn, but we're going to do an MRI just to confirm. Like, and we've never had a guy go like a full day and a half where it's like usually we know by now if it's ACLs. Maybe I'm wrong though. Maybe I'm wrong, but I do think the fact that they haven't said ACL yet and that he's still undergoing tests and waiting for results makes me think it might not be ACL. Doesn't mean it's good news.
Right.
But it may not be ACL.
All right. Well, yeah, don't drop him yet. Obviously, you always have to wait for the official word. But at the very least, this week, probably multiple weeks, for whatever it is. Yeah, hyperextension makes sense. That's kind of what it looked like on that play. So now we're going to dig into, and not right here, right now, but throughout the week on the streams and the videos, is what goes on with the Chiefs now. Like, who's catching passes in that offense besides Travis Kelce? All of a sudden,
that's what I was going to say. I was about to say, congrats to everybody who drafted Travis Kelce. You lucked into at least a good enough tight end rest of the season. So you got really big. I mean, really, it took Hollywood Brown and Rashee Rice. So say thank you to the fantasy gods. Don't brag about your Travis Kelce pick. Just say thank you and move on.
No victory laps for injuries. No. Yeah, exactly. Just take it from there. At least he's startable again. So there's that. All right. And then we already discussed injuries and all that in the waiver video and panic players in the panic video. So let's get to the tonight questions pretty soon. But first, also want to tell you that tonight, you still have also time to take advantage of this. Remember, we talked about for Underdog, they had that, the VIP thing that went out to everybody, whether you're a VIP or not. Well, not only did they extend it to everybody, but they extended it another day, so you can still do this. So what it means is if you do NFL, this is just for NFL picks, right? NFL only pick'ems, and you got 4 teams that you can make picks for, or just for tonight. So if you do anything for tonight's games, NFL only picks, you're getting 10% bonus cash. It's going to go back to your account this Wednesday. So you got one more day to basically just get bonus cash in your account for doing NFL picks. And I will say I was on a little bit of a kind of a down streak here, but I hit one yesterday. I felt pretty good. So I recouped basically all my losses for the past couple of weeks in one pick 'em. So just telling you, keep the faith. You also can take this free pick, whether you want it in your lineup or not. Tyreek Hill, he's got to at least get 1 yard, doesn't he? Just 1 yard. So this is supposed to be a free pick. I think it will be. Tyreek Hill, higher than 0.5 total yards. If you haven't signed up for Underdog yet, take advantage of this. You get this free pick, and then you combine it with any other pick. And then again, don't forget that bonus cash, plus the bonus cash you get just for creating an account, because your very first deposit got a 50% deposit match all the way up to $1,000 of bonus cash. So just make sure you use code NGAME. Go ahead and make an Underdog account right now. Use code NGAME, get the bonus cash VIP offer, get the free pick, and start making your NFL picks for tonight. And then you take it from there. Yeah, I hadn't done it. It's always risky. Probably the riskiest thing to project is touchdowns, right? That's like, you never know. But I was like, okay, I'm going to try it because, of course, the odds are better. So that's what did it for me. I picked Marvin Harrison Jr., first TD scorer. Guess what? He was the first TD scorer with a couple of other things I did, and paid off pretty well. A couple hundred. Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Not bad at all. Buy me a chicken dinner. All right. Let's do some questions here. I guess we should start with Dan O. First in line. Got the membership. Greetings. All right. Waiver question here. Basically, half the players on the video from today. Are any of those you think must adds? This is an 8-team league, so.
I mean, it's hard to say any of these guys are must adds in 8-team leagues.
Right.
I mean, the thing is, you got Moss, Waddle. You're not dropping Moss. You're not dropping Waddle. You're not dropping Pickens. You're not dropping Jameson. You're not dropping Bowers. You're not dropping Ferguson. And you're probably not dropping Braylon Allen at this point. So, yeah.
Yeah, 8-team league, you need absolute studs. I mean, we saw people say, in my 18 league, Christian Kirk was dropped, Michael Pittman was dropped, T. Higgins was dropped. Okay, those guys you scoop up, but
Right.
none of these guys are at that level. So not in your league, Dan.
Yeah.
Okay. And then saying with Kyler not doing much, I mean, disappointing, but still, you keep Kyler.
Yeah. Was there a bigger disappointment in week 4 than Kyler Murray against the Commanders? Like, what's even worse about it is the Commanders lit up that defense. So it wasn't like they blew him out and they just ran the ball. Right. No, they had to throw and he was still terrible. But I mean, still, I'm not giving up on Kyler Murray after one bad game.
I feel like just Arizona, maybe Kyler Murray specifically, because we get a different coaching staff than we did a couple of years ago. I just feel like that's always the case, right? He always is just up and down and up and down. Like, he's never consistent, never big games when he's supposed to have a big game. But you just keep rolling with him. I mean, I'm not, okay. Love is available. I might go Love, but
yeah, maybe this week because maybe this
week the Rams.
Against the Rams. He gets the Rams. Yeah.
Okay. So Love, sure. I gotta go Love. Sir Boomer here nice and early. Up 27. Monty and H-Hand to go. And my opponent is done. Okay. So he wants to reason for the 1% chance.
I don't know. 50 stat corrections against your team.
Yeah. If the Dolphins, if Huntley throws it backwards to H-N and he runs backwards 50 yards and then fumbles it, and then I don't know. Yeah. Look, they just can't guarantee anything, right? They're just playing it safe. It's called CYA. Right. Brosif, would you be more interested in trying to trade Mason in a buy low package deal on Breece Bijan tier? Or trying to use smaller pieces of TMC?
If I could trade Mason for Breece or Bijan, I'm trading Mason. But I don't think I would trade Mason to get. I wouldn't trade Mason to get CMC because you just traded away your CMC insurance.
Right.
But if I can get Breece or Bijan, I'll trade away Mason.
Yeah, I think try to use smaller pieces to get CMC just to make sure I have the Niners running back. I mean, that makes sense. I'm okay if the pieces are small enough, which it really depends. What's the latest, by the way? CMC, there was something today. Now it's like, now both of his Achilles are bad. Like, what?
Yes, I guess the tendonitis is in both Achilles. That's why he went to Germany. I don't know.
That's not reassuring me very much.
No.
I don't know. Let's not get into that either, but yeah, I don't really feel too good about getting CMC right now. I'm just going to say that. Okay, short season. What is up? Should I trade Etienne and DJ for Bijan?
I think I'm assuming that's DJ Moore. I think I would. I mean,
yeah.
Etienne hasn't been very good this year. I mean, DJ Moore, like, what? I'm sure there's going to be some games where DJ Moore is great. And I know he scored that touchdown yesterday, but man, I mean, okay, Caleb Williams. I guess I can't say Caleb Williams is as big as a disappointment as Kyler Murray was because he's Caleb Williams. He's a rookie. He gets a pass. But, I mean, Caleb Williams doing almost nothing against that Rams defense was another huge disappointment. Like, sure, DJ Moore will have some moments this year, but he's probably going to be very frustrating to have. He's probably going to be one of those guys like, when you think like, okay, I can start him this week, it's like, oh man, you know what I mean? So yeah, just give me Bijan.
I'll do this for sure because Bijan hasn't been great. Yeah, this is a buy low opportunity, but Etienne, I mean, man, obviously the Jags are proving to be one of the worst teams in the league. It's not Etienne himself, I don't think, but wasn't he sort of unofficially benched yesterday or something like that?
I don't know what that was, but he ended up playing like a pretty decent amount of snaps and he got more carries. But again, Tank Bigsby was good, 90 yards yesterday. So yeah, I'd be a little nervous about Etienne right now for sure. And I'm also nervous for DJ Moore because it's like, man, again, Caleb Williams, week 3, like, okay, maybe we turned a corner here. Now he gets the Rams. Now, and then it's like right back to, I mean, missing missing throws that should be touchdowns, not just even to DJ Moore, to Odunze, everybody. Like, yeah.
Well, look at the Etienne thing. I'm going to sell Etienne. If he still has value in your league, someone wants him, take him. I would sell Etienne now because it's the opposite of last year. They were like, oh, Tank Bigsby's good. We're going to get him involved. And he was so bad, they couldn't play him. Like they wanted to, but they couldn't because he would fumble at the goal line. And then he would average like 2 yards a carry. I mean, he was just bad last year. And now it's reversed. Now it's like, oh, that's why Tank Bigsby was drafted. He's actually good. And now Tank Bigsby has been better than Etienne. So I would be nervous. With the Bears, I'm just going to say right now, I blame Shane Waldron just like they do.
Yeah.
That's what's concerning to me is now they're like, oh man, we were really good passing the ball. Let's run it a lot this week against this really bad Rams pass defense. Yeah. Andrew Doherty, 8-team drop sharp for Swift. Speaking of the Bears.
Are we really? I mean, okay, because I'm going to talk about who plays the. Oh yeah, I'm talking about Josh Jacobs tonight on our Booms video. In fact, let me just pull it up. Like, are we really buying back into Swift now because he had a nice game against the Rams? Like, look at the running backs against the Rams this week or this year. Week 1. Gibbs and Monty, 131 yards, 2 touchdowns. Week 2, James Conner, 122 yards and a touchdown. Jordan Mason, okay, he only had like 90 yards in that game. He didn't score. Week 4, DeAndre Swift, 93 yards and a touchdown. Like, are we really just all of a sudden back in on Swift because he had one big game against the Rams who have been torched by every running back they faced?
Well, to answer your question, no. But would I rather have him than Charbonnet right now? Probably, just because Kenneth Walker is back, and assuming he doesn't, get hurt again or anything tonight. I'd rather have Swift than Charbonnet. So I would put like 5% maybe fab at the most.
I'll put a $0 bid on Swift. You get $0. Like, I'm not just going to ignore it. This guy was horrendous for 3 games and then had an okay game against the Rams.
This is why, like you said, Caleb Williams and DJ Moore very frustrating because that's why I was all in on this Bears pass offense because this is the Rams defense, but didn't realize the Bears would look at that run game and say, you know what, we're going to definitely establish the run this week. And what's encouraging to me, at least about Swift, is he was involved as a pass catcher, and that's
True.
also why Odunze, Moore, etc., didn't really go off because they dumped it off a lot. It was just a very conservative game plan, which kind of made no sense, but whatever. All right, we got to get the Bus in here. Bus is in the house. What's up, Bus? What do we do with Drake London?
I say go buy Drake London right now. Drake London I just did the buy low today. I had Drake London. I'm going to pull up the stats. 30% target share over the last 3 games. I feel like the offense is getting better. I know Kirk Cousins didn't throw any touchdowns or anything this week, but like the fear we had in week 1, like, oh my gosh, the Achilles, he can't push off. He can't drive the ball. I think that's out the window. We don't have to worry about that. Drake London's going to be fine. He hasn't been horrible. I mean, outside of week 1, he hasn't been horrible. He's been okay. So if I got Drake London, I'm holding. And if I don't have Drake London, I'm buying.
There you go. No reason to worry. If you have Drake London, keep him. Thomas with a super chat. Thank you, Thomas. Okay. Wondering about Hawkinson for Wan'Dale Robinson, lost Rice, have McBride. So does that mean you are giving up Hawk to get Wan'Dale? So, sure.
Yes. Like I'm fine trading away Hawkinson, but Wan'Dale Robinson, Wan'Dale Robinson's a guy. I mean, I know, like, okay, Thomas, you're probably in a deeper league, or you're in a league with some sharper players because Wan'Dale Robinson's not on waivers, but he's like 15-20% rostered or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't have to. Like, I get it's Hawkinson and you have McBride, but you shouldn't have to trade for Wan'Dale Robinson. Like, aim a little higher here. Aim a little higher is what I'm trying to say. Like, TJ Hawkinson still has decent value right now. Like, people are excited. He might be coming back. He might be practicing again. Like, people are excited for TJ Hawkinson. They're They're like, give me anything that can help me at tight end. I would aim a little higher here. Even guys like, Jawan Jennings, I would take probably over Wandale, maybe, guys like that. If you want to get more of like a flex, you know what I mean? So aim a little higher here. Khalil Shakir, maybe. Aim a little higher.
I like Shakir's a good one. You know what? If you're trading, you're probably trading this to somebody who needs a tight end. The guy's just desperate for a tight end. He should give you more, right? He should give you more than Wanda Robinson. Shakir, who I think might be a sneaky, I don't know if I'll say buy low, but just decent by like that range you're talking about. And believe it or not, I think I'm going to talk about in the booms too, is Jerry Jeudy. He's been kind of sneaky, solid, good, and could be better. So, yeah, aim a little higher. 95, always doing well, of course. All right, would you trade Garrett Wilson straight up for Jaden Reed?
No, Garrett Wilson to me still another obvious buy low. I talk about him on the buy low today as well. Now, so he's had a brutal schedule so far as like his matchups go, but he gets I think 3 or 4 more kind of tough matchups, but none as bad as what he just had, of course. Then he gets Texans, Cardinals, Colts, Seahawks, Dolphins, Jaguars, Rams, Bills to finish. So, really outside of Seahawks and Bills in week 17, those are all great matchups. I think Garrett Wilson is going to have a huge second half this year. He's another guy that I definitely want to buy low on right now.
Right, and this is understandable. Jaden Reed has been great when Jordan Love plays. Jordan Love is back, but I don't know. I don't feel like the rest of the season, like you said, this is going to be a win necessarily for you. Or trade Wilson and Mason for Reed and Connor. I don't think that's really better.
I'm still not doing this.
Yeah, I don't think that's better. Because what if CMC doesn't come back and then you're going to kick yourself that you traded Mason? Ralphie, get Worthy, send Addison.
I think it's fine. I know everybody's going to be going nuts for Xavier Worthy now, like the new wide receiver one in KC, but man. Yeah, I guess it's fine. It's fine.
This feels, I don't know, it feels like it might be comparable. Pretty fair.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to find doing it as long as you know what you're getting with Worthy. It's not the wide receiver one for Kansas City. In other words, it's not Rashee Rice. It's going to be kind of the same guy with just a few more wrinkles put in, right? Maybe a little bit more of the jet sweep, a little bit more of those little short slants, That's fine. All right, so Alexis Aguilar is back, and let me see. I'm sure there's something somewhere along here, although I don't see it, Alexis. All right, so hang tight. You did post a question, which you probably did. We'll put it up. But let's get to Gin Rail. Now, before I put this question out there, we did hear something along the lines of Puka Nacua is going to be out basically like another month. Yep. Not coming back real soon. And Nick Chubb did have his practice window opened up, I believe, right, today? Okay. Yes. So, with that said, Puka for Chubb.
I'm still taking Puka here. Okay. Let's envision like best case scenario for Chubb. Okay, they opened his practice window this week. That doesn't mean he's going to be on the active roster. He'll probably they got 21 days to activate him, or else he's out for the season. They're going to activate him, obviously, unless he has a setback and then he's out for the season. But let's hope he doesn't have a setback. Okay, when he comes back, he's not going to play 80% of the snaps. He's not going to play 50% of the snaps. He's probably going to, even think about Breece Hall last year. Think about Javonte Williams last year. Think about even JT last year when he came off PUP, how few snaps he was playing for those first few games. So you're going at least 2 to 3 more games without Chubb. Then you're going like 2 to 3 more games where you probably can't start Chubb. So you're looking at like 5 to 6 games where he's not even really startable yet. So now we're already to week like 10. Now you're hoping, like going into week 11, behind this offensive line that is decimated right now, you're hoping a 29-year-old running back coming off a devastating knee injury can get back anything close to what he was. I will just gamble on the wide receiver who's 22 or 23 years old and didn't have a devastating knee injury.
That sounds pretty logical. I think think about it. Last year, Jonathan Taylor, I think, is a good example. His injury not nearly as significant as everything Nick Chubb has dealt with. And when he finally came back in full, it was like kind of disappointing, right? People were like, "Where's Jonathan Taylor?" And then finally, toward the end of the year, he picked it up a little bit. But this also, here's another thing that people don't realize: this Browns offensive line used to be one of the better ones in the league. Like half of their offensive line is hurt, and the half that's hurt is their best offensive lineman, right? I know Wyatt Teller is one. There's somebody, I can't remember all that. They're not doing a great job because they're banged up. So not to excuse anything on Deshaun Watson's part, still mainly his fault, but still. That doesn't help either, does it? Teeny little super guy. Down 5, you have Amon-Ra.
I sure hope you win. I sure hope you win.
You should. There's always that 1%, right? You can't guarantee anything.
Fantasy football is pain, but you should win.
I feel a lot better about your chances than I do about Sir Boomer's opponent tonight. So
yeah,
put it that way.
Definitely.
Vinny, what's up? Okay, so Dontayvion Wicks. My prediction, this will be the guy that most fantasy managers are fighting for, as far as fab bids this week. How much is he actually worth?
Yeah, so this is a great question. So I know Jaden Reed was very good yesterday, but I mean, Jaden Reed got a 14% target share. He got the same amount of targets as Romeo Doubs and one more than Tucker Kraft. Like I know Jaden Reed is a great football player, and Jaden Reed is one of those guys. He can have like 5 or 6 targets, and one of those can go to the house for a touchdown, like we saw yesterday. But he's also going to have those games where he doesn't do that. Dontayvion Wicks, despite barely playing in the first quarter because Christian Watson was healthy, had 24% target share, had 13 targets in this game.
That's good.
That's very good. He ran the same amount of routes as Jaden Reed, even though, again, in the first quarter, he was barely playing because Christian Watson was at least still healthy for the first quarter.
Yeah.
But at the same time, for the same reasons, I'm not as high as the world on Jaden Reed. Jaden Reed is a great football player. I feel like in fantasy, he's going to be one of those guys. He's going to be very up and down because, again, he's not getting peppered with targets, and they're not going to be getting blown out by the Vikings every week where 4 guys get 8 to 13 targets like we saw yesterday. And that's going to be the case for Wicks too. So I think, as always, it comes down to how badly do you need Wicks and how deep is your league and how aggressive are your league mates. If you're in a shallow league and Wicks is going to be like your wide receiver 5 or something, maybe like 10% max. But if you're in like a deep league and you just lost Rashee Rice and maybe you already had lost Puka or something like that, and you really, really, really need wide receiver help, I could probably go up to like 25% because Wicks was a guy we talked a lot about this offseason. In fact, many times we would say, like, we just want the Packers wide receiver going last, and that's Dontayvion Wicks, who is underrated, really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't really worth rostering until this week because, of course, Jordan Love has been out, but also he was 4th, in the pecking order here. Just you can't sustain any sort of fantasy value without target share, and he just didn't have it. Well, guess what? Now he has it, and I don't just mean that because he got those targets this game, but Christian Watson, this is kind of what he needed, and he got it. Mm-hmm. So, definitely worth adding. I will say this: my underdog shares of Dontayvion Wicks are now very happy after last week, so that's good. Yep. All right. Let's do just a quick shout out to Anthony, who's giving us a quick shout out. What is up? Hoping for a big night from the Sun God and Jalen Waddle. I think at least one of those should pay off.
Yes.
Hopefully two, though. Trust me, I'm hoping for both. Live wire. All right. So first of all, yes, the baseball season is now officially over. We got a Mets fan here. Mets did it, clinched the playoffs. So there you go. If you're a Mets fan, which I'm not, then congrats. He said he sent a draft lane question. Of course, we already talked about draft lane. Did I talk about draft lane? I'm reminded about draft lane. I don't even know if I did talk about draft lane.
I don't think so, but it's okay because we're talking about it now. So don't forget, you can download Draft Lane on the App Store, Google Play. And
All
just
right.
like this, you can have your question answered by us. Now, we don't always do it streaming, but Livewire, here's the question. So it's PPR. His question is, CMC returns and the success of Mason, maybe a split back to ensure health till playoffs. If so, play both. So I think what he's asking is, are we worried when CMC comes back based on the fact that Mason has been so good? Do they lighten McCaffrey's workload, and do we see more of a split backfield to keep McCaffrey healthy for the playoffs?
Oh, absolutely. Because what this whole thing is about is, of course, trying to keep his Achilles intact. I mean, mainly avoid a rupture. That's literally what they're doing, right? They don't want it to rupture. Keeping him intact. When you have a guy who's one of the leading rushers in the league and you can just plug him in and he's that effective, why would you possibly want to go and give McCaffrey 20 plus touches when you don't need to do that? So regardless if, he comes back and I'm 110% healthy, there's zero concern. They said I can do whatever I want and there's no chance that I rupture my Achilles. We're still going to see Jordan Mason. We're still going to see him, I think, double-digit carries at the minimum. And that's, again, absolute best case scenario for CMC. So, yeah, like I said, I think I'm pretty much at this point out on buying CMC low. I'm not like running out to sell him everywhere I have him because I feel like I'm selling low, which is kind of odd. But yeah, I'm just, nothing has made me feel better about CMC throughout these weeks, and we're now a quarter of the way through the season. So that's kind of how I feel. Good luck, by the way. 13 down
Yes.
with Metcalf tonight. I think you can do it. Metcalf, you should do it.
You should.
Should. All right. And let's actually, since you mentioned draft lane, let's put it, by the way, I told you the new customer special, the limited time is officially over, but you can still download draft lane and it's still completely free. So check it out if you haven't already. Draft lane is the app that we're talking about. You can get your questions just like you ask on here, get them answered offline on the Draft Lane app store, Play Store. Download it for free. Starts it, waiver, trade, and more. So if you haven't tried it yet, again, check it out. And there's even more features, and we're still going to continue to add and improve, every single week, every single month as it goes on. Just the beginning. All right, let's do NTY. 3-1, very nice. Had Baker, Nico, Mason. There you go, Mason helping you. Freiermuth didn't help, but you still won. Connor Moody needs a new defense.
Hey, Freiermuth scored. Freiermuth actually scored finally.
I guess that's true. I mean, hey, for a tight end, that's like a boom week.
Exactly. All right, best defenses this week, probably Commanders against the Browns. I mean, look, they got the Kyler Murray quite a bit in that game, actually. Of course, Patriots against your Dolphins look good.
Yeah, sadly.
I mean, you got Raiders against Broncos, Broncos against Raiders. You could probably go with either of those guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know. Denver's been pretty good on defense. They're not like universally owned, so Denver's out there. That's a good one. I did mention the Raiders, but I think that's only if Max Crosby is back.
Packers against the Rams looks pretty nice. Seahawks against the Giants. If they're out there, they might not be out there. Those would probably be the top ones I'm seeing.
There you go. All right. Defense. Okay, we did this one. Let's do Alonzo Ledesma. Should I sell Brian Thomas Jr. to get Pacheco? You buying Pacheco?
I would not. I mean, I'm okay if you want to trade for Pacheco now, but you got to be buying really low here because we don't know. We don't know when he's coming back, how long it might be. I think you're probably better off just holding Brian Thomas right now.
Yeah, I've said Pacheco is not a guy I'm buying in on right now. There's just I don't see the benefit to stashing a guy at least. I mean, what's the minimum really we expect for Pacheco? At least 4 weeks, 5 weeks, probably longer. I don't see any need to do that right now. Beast Mode Kane. Jet for jet. Who'd you rather have, Breece Hall or Garrett Wilson?
I still prefer Breece Hall here. It's just look. I know it was not fun if you had Breece Hall this week, and I got plenty of Breece Hall, but at the same time, I mean, like we're not worried that Braylon Allen is actually gonna like start taking significant work from Breece Hall, right? So I'm still going Breece Hall here.
Yeah, I think, probably the biggest disappointment last week was Kyler Murray because he should have feasted and he didn't. But probably the biggest bust in terms of just a stud being bad was Breece Hall.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Nothing. And people are going to start to panic. Braylon Allen, he's there. Braylon Allen is good and he is getting touches, but I don't know. This seems like a buy low window for Breece Hall, if anything.
Yep.
All right. Rise. What is up? Rise above anything. Unfortunately, lost Rice, but at least you're 4-0. 2-2, still doable.
I always say fantasy football, more than anything, it's a game of attrition. You got to be on the right side of the injury luck.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, speaking of injuries, let's get back to the Pacheco and the Chiefs. Okay, so Christopher Sauer says that Pacheco is out there on waivers. Are you going to add him?
Mostert's not even active again tonight. I mean, really, like, okay, look, great for Mostert last year, great year last year, but I think we can look at Mostert's career and say that year is going to stand out as how the F did that happen? How the F did he do that last year? Like you had Mostert last year. Congrats. You won the running back lottery last year, literally. Like I'm done with Mostert.
Yeah. I always say when you look at, you have to zoom back and look at the big picture. Look at his resume, right? His actual stat line year after year. What stands out as the outlier season? Which one is it? When he was healthy or the one he wasn't healthy? The same thing with any guy. When a guy has a career year, like, oh, look, he's this now. Is it because he's been building up to that? He's always been that? Or was it just that year? You have to always have that perspective. And what Mostert has always been is injured.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. So, yeah, you can drop Mostert. And look, you can stash him in IR. Of course. Why wouldn't you?
Exactly.
All right, question for tonight. Aaron Edwards. Which defense, Titans or Lions?
I got to go Titans against Snoop Huntley. Give me the Titans.
Yes, Lions definitely the better real defense, but it doesn't matter who's got the better matchup. It's the Titans. Let's see.
Also, we have a bunch of super chats still.
Are we missing some? Did I miss some?
I think so.
All right.
There we go.
Here's tonight. Charlie Lewis. Waddle or Lockett tonight?
Oh, I'm still going Waddle here. Just what is Lockett? Even when Lockett's been like, even in week 1 when he was the leading receiver, what did he really do? I'll just go Waddle and take my chances.
It's the daily 6 o'clock bark.
All right. Okay. Do you agree with me or disagree?
I go Waddle. Huntley is at least capable, right?
We'll see. We'll see.
He has thrown a touchdown before, I think.
He's got 8. I think he's got 8.
There you go. Could always happen. JB, Burrow or Fields week 5? Burrow or
Well,
Fields?
you might not have a choice on this because it really did sound like Mike Tomlin was hinting at Russell Wilson being the starting QB this week. So, yeah, he might not have a choice, but I'm going Burrow either way.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a great output, not a great week for Burrow. That's because they ran the ball a lot in the red zone. But I still go Burrow. Fields, yes. Fields did what he can do and run a couple of touchdowns. That's not going to happen every week. And remember, we did talk about this. Indianapolis not having a very good run defense. And if it's not Najee who benefits, it could be Justin Fields. And it was Justin Fields. So go Burrow. All right. This is Snerius?
Something like that.
Okay. I'll go with that. Snerius. Can I get your opinion trading away McCaffrey for Pollard and Goddard?
I don't think this is enough. I mean, look, Goddard has been good the last 2 weeks, but Devonta Smith almost certainly back this week, and you got to think AJ Brown back this week as well. He did. Didn't he practice limited on Friday? So that makes me feel like he's probably going to be back this week. Yeah, I know right now we're not feeling good about McCaffrey, but I mean, Pollard and a tight end who's, wasn't really doing much until the 2 wide receivers got hurt. I think I would just hold McCaffrey here. Try to get more.
Yeah. Again, I'm okay trading away McCaffrey right now, but Pollard just doesn't quite do it for me. Look, let's see what happens tonight. Maybe he has a big game, right? He could boom. He definitely could, but let's see. I mean, this is not a good time. Either you need a tight end. Goddard's on bye next week, so you can't even get him. So it's not good timing for Goddard because then after the bye, most likely AJ Brown and Devontae Smith come back. So
that's right. I forgot they have the bye this week. Oh, that's
yeah,
right. First week of buys.
Yeah, I know. And then the receivers will be back. So Goddard, tight end 1, say goodbye. Corey Miller. Okay. Who do you like tonight, Geno or Goff? He's up 15 points with one of those QBs and Amon-Ra. I don't know if it matters. You want to stack versus Hill and the kicker.
No, I'm going to go with the one I like the best, and that's Geno tonight against that Lions secondary. I'm going Geno, but I don't know if it's going to necessarily be. I could see these guys being close, but I just like Geno's matchup a little better.
It's pretty close here. I think the Seahawks. No, I mean it's at home. You got Amon-Ra. I might just go Goff just for safety, but I think it'll be pretty close between those two, anyways. And I think you should win either way, anyways, unless Hill does what he does. Takes one to the house himself. All right, Black Jesus. Would you trade Mahomes and Godwin for Baker and AJB?
I think so. I mean, for as good as Godwin's been, I still prefer AJ Brown. And I mean, what are we expecting from Mahomes now? He's going to be throwing to whatever's left of Travis Kelce. Sky Moore, who, I mean, my goodness, he can't even catch. Justin Watson, I think, is still on the team. And then Xavier Worthy, who I guess it's time for Xavier Worthy to step up and stop running just go routes. He's going to have to start running other things unless the offense is just like dump offs to Kelce and Noah Gray, handoffs to Kareem Hunt, Samaje Perine, and then just chuck it to Xavier Worthy once a game. Maybe that's going to be the offense. Yeah, give me the Baker AJ Brown side at this point.
Yeah, what happened? What could have been? This whole offense, gotta figure out what's going on in KC. Pacheco, Hollywood, now Rice. I mean, what?
We see this though, but this is always like when you look at teams, this is kind of like what usually like teams like the Chiefs or even like the Patriots. The years they didn't win or weren't one of the best. It's just injuries. It's just it's one of those years where they're just getting hit hard by injuries. And yeah, this offense that we thought was going to be like incredible is might be worse than last year somehow.
All right, how about this one? No Trippy Tate. Up 52, but the opponent has the entire Lions offense.
It's going to be close. I mean, you could. Seahawks do have a good secondary, so they could limit Goff a little bit. I mean, but with Monty and Gibbs, you figure your opponent's probably getting at least one touchdown there. So it'll be a sweat. It'll be a sweat here.
I mean, I don't feel like the Lions are going to just go ballistic on offense tonight, but obviously, you got some good players here. I'd say 52. I'd say you should pull it out. It's a pretty big deficit. All right, Felix Tab. Which two? Walker Sharp or Njigba? Smith?
Well, you can't. I don't think you can play Charbonnet with Walker back, even if it's like 60-40 Walker. Do you really want 40 Charbonnet against the Lions? Walker and Njigba.
Yeah, you got to pick one of these running backs. Like neither one is really in a great spot. Go with the starter with Walker, and then go JSN. Zymalik lost Puka and Rice. I don't know. Have Debo, Higgins, Shaheed, Keenan, man, and you just got Debo and Higgins back, so you've definitely been hurting. Have Henry and Saquon with zero depth at receiver. Would you move one of your stud running backs?
No, I mean, look, I know Saquon wasn't great this week, but he was still fine. He just didn't score. I mean, I'm guessing because you had Derrick Henry, you probably still won. Although maybe not because you probably took a 0 from Rice. But even still, I mean, Derrick Henry. So much for Derrick Henry being washed. Everybody after week 1, oh my God, Derrick Henry looks washed. I don't think Derrick Henry's washed yet. That's crazy. You still got Debo. You still got Higgins. Look, Shaheed. He wasn't just like a all or nothing guy yesterday. He actually got targets. So you got Keenan. I think I would just hold Henry and Saquon. I'm not just you need those guys to carry you. And Puka will be back, and maybe Rice will be back. We don't know, but Puka will at least definitely be back.
Well, it stings, obviously, losing those guys. I mean, hopefully Puka back, not real soon, but at least you have startable receivers. I mean, look, Shaheed was good yesterday. He's startable. Keenan should be startable. I mean, don't give up your advantage. The best thing you got going for you is those two running backs. Right. I don't think trading one of them is probably not making your team better. So, yeah, I don't think so. Depth isn't going to win you your championship. Having a guy like Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley is going to win you your championship. Hopefully.
Speaking of baseball, Pete Rose just passed away.
Did he really?
Yeah. Oh. Are they gonna put him in the Hall of Fame now?
No, I don't think so. He really made himself just, I think, so unlikable. You know, there's not a lot of sympathy for him, to be honest. But
yeah,
I don't know. Wow. Yeah, keep those guys. Look, I will say I have still on my screen, my wallpaper. Remember, look back, guys, the league winner video from this offseason. League winners,
yeah.
King Henry. I love that. I love that thumbnail. It's my favorite one still. Okay, so we have Ramsaholic. Superflex question, although I don't know if it matters here. Lamb for Mixon in London.
Nah, just give me Lamb here. Just give me Lamb. I do think London's a buy low, and I think Mixon's fine, but I'm not trading CeeDee Lamb right now unless I'm getting something really good in return.
Yeah, this is not enough. London is definitely a step down, big enough step down from Lamb, and Mixon. Who knows? I mean, again, you're like, oh well, as soon as he comes back, I don't think we're convinced that as soon as he does come back and start, he's going to do exactly what he did in week 1 every single week. So, yeah. Frosty. Up 36. Opponent has St. Brown, Metcalf in the defense.
Going to be close because we're looking at, let's say the defense gets him 5 points. All right. So that's 31 between St. Brown and Metcalf. That's 15 and 16. That's certainly within their range. So I think it's going to be close. I think you're going to be sweating a little bit tonight, Frosty. I could see it going. I could see this going either way.
Yeah, I definitely don't feel as good about this one as the other one. I mean, 52-36, but also got 2 alpha receivers. So you definitely could, but yeah, I don't know. I hate to say I don't know that I would put money on your side right now, but you definitely could pull it out. You never know. All right. Let's see. This one deserves some attention. I know we didn't say this. Shea Patrice started Pitts over Kittle.
No, we told everybody that had Kittle, you got to start Kittle. You got to start Kittle. At least this week, you can start Kittle again. You got a second chance this week. Start Kittle.
But this does lead to the question, which is, question like we've been asking basically for the past 4 years. Are we just done with Kyle Pitts now? Like,
gotta be. I mean, we've got to be done with Kyle Pitts, right? Like, gotta be done. All that hype.
Sure, I got sucked into it because last year it was hurt. And of course, the quarterback situation, I mean, perfectly logical. What is the excuse now? What is the reason? And you saw his separation score is like 0. Like he's getting 0 separation, basically. So I don't know. Yeah, I guess we're done. Which, by the way, that also reminds me, the sad day, I guess, today, Dikembe Mutombo. Speaking of finger wags, right? Dikembe Mutombo.
Yeah, I saw that too. That's sad too.
And if anybody out there does not know who Mutombo is, go look at some highlights. The best shot blocker. Hey, we're from a different generation than some of the people on here.
True, but he even didn't he do like commercials recently where it's like he swats?
Yeah.
It's not basketball. It's like something in real life. He swats it and no, or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, best shot blocker, I think pretty much ever. All right, let's go to Suzanne B. 12-team PPR. Kyler H. and Singletary, Bucky Akers, Rashawn Brooks, CD, MHJ, Terry Smith, Liggett, Kincaid, and Ferg. Okay, drop Akers for Hunt, Sermon, Hill.
Yeah, Akers another disappointment going up against Jacksonville. Dare Uwububi, I can never pronounce his last name, catches a touchdown.
Yeah,
doesn't even catch a pass. Yeah, you could drop Akers. Mixon will probably be back because remember Mixon did practice limited on Friday, so he'll probably be back. But even if he's not, I'm not rolling with Akers anymore. I'm done. I tried it didn't work. I'm done. Do I really want? The one I might pick up here is Trey Sermon because kind of under the radar, JT with that ankle injury. They get Jacksonville this week, so maybe it'll be another trap here. We'll roll out Trey Sermon against Jacksonville, and it'll probably be terrible. Justice Hill is fine. Kareem Hunt, still not there with Kareem Hunt yet. I mean, come on. I guess I would drop Akers for Sermon.
Yeah, we don't really know with JT. They're kind of playing it off, downplaying it, but he could miss. If he does miss, Trey Sermon, definitely a good add. I don't know. I'm not in on Kareem Hunt either. He was clearly the leader in the backfield, right? Week 4. But I think if anything, this not only the fact Kareem Hunt by far got the most touches, but also the fact that at the goal line, it was Smudgy P. Ryan getting the touchdown. Is Carson Steele just like a thing that never happened? Not going to happen.
Well, this is what happened in that game is Carson Steele was clearly still the lead back, and then he fumbled, and then I don't think he touched the ball after he fumbled. Like I don't think he got the ball after that. So then they just gave it to Hunt and P. Ryan. What was really weird here about P. Ryan, for the guy that was supposed to be the pass catching back, he didn't catch a single pass.
Yeah, I mean, I'm honestly almost ready to just kind of be done with Kansas City offense and just like forget the headache because we want to be so in on it. But again, for fantasy, it's not quite the same as it used to be. And this doesn't even feel like a hot take anymore. But it's just so annoying. I feel like it's more frustration than anything. But yeah, you can drop Akers. You can definitely drop Akers. All right. How about this for CMC? Bull run ready. McCaffrey for Deontay and Kamara.
Yeah, just exactly. Give me Deontay and Kamara here for sure. This is how you do it. You get a stud running back and a stud wide receiver, and you just say, good luck. You deal with CMC. Good luck. Yeah, definitely do this.
Yeah, this is more than enough. This is more because you're getting an RB1 and a really good receiver. So, look, if you got McCaffrey, do this now. Don't look back. Oh man, like I really don't want to talk about the Chiefs, but okay. CEH.
I mean, at this point, why not? Why not? Like, are they so obviously like? I mean, again, Carson Steele fumbled and basically got benched. Samaje Perine, like they get their goal, like you said, they had to get the ball to Perine at the goal line. Kareem Hunt just finally back. Like, why not? I mean, I'm with you. I'm probably just staying away.
Yeah.
And this even assumes if CEH is back this week. We don't know.
True. Well, one for me, why not? Because he's a Chiefs running back. I'm just done with it. Not Pacheco. Pacheco, okay, that was different, but I wasn't even in on CEH when he was a rookie and he was drafted in the first round. I'm not going to be in on CEH now. That's for sure. So yeah. All right, celebration here. Luis Correa won his baseball fantasy league. Very nice. Clinched it because the season's over. Just needs Metcalf to cook. I think he will. He definitely should. All right. Live wire. I don't know if this is pretty much calling you a hater, but saying that you never say. I don't think you've never said to start Lockett.
No, I used to say start Lockett all the time. But I mean, what has he done this year? And I'm feeling good about JSN this week. You know, that slot wide receiver against the Lions, who give up a ton to slot wide receivers, and I like DK, so I don't see Lockett. I mean, like he can always score a touchdown. Like anybody who's on the field and is involved can score a touchdown, right? I mean, we saw Trey Palmer score a touchdown last week. Yeah, okay, he could score. Sure, he's on the field. He's out there. He could score. But I mean, really, is that what you're pinning your hopes on? Like, I'd rather take a chance on Waddle.
Yeah. But look, you should be glad you don't have to worry about this. He's saying that he traded Lockett and Rachaad White for Christian Kirk. That definitely has helped you so far. Asking though about Tank Dell. Now, Dell should play. They're saying he should be fine for this week, so he's back. Only missed one game. But is he just basically bench depth at this point?
I mean, yeah, you're probably not going to start him this week. Plus, this is Stephon Diggs revenge game, so they're probably going to get Stephon Diggs the ball a lot. But yeah, definitely worth the stat. I still feel like I'm not giving up on Dell yet. It's too early. Remember, everybody giving up on Christian Kirk, and now look at Christian Kirk. Everybody giving up on Michael Pittman. Probably other people I forget that everybody had given up on, and then it's like, oh yeah, that's right, they're still good. I'm not giving up on Dell yet.
Right. He will at some point have a big game, and then he'd be like, oh, man, I dropped him, or oh, I benched him. Look, you don't have to start him. Yeah, non-starter, sure. I'm not going to go out and start him right now, especially this week either, but I think he's stash worthy. All right, super chat from Tony Thomas. How are we doing? Down 28, got JSN and Dolphins D. Well,
good luck. I mean, you're gonna need JSN to boom. But look, you know what? Will Levis could always give to you a touchdown for Miami. No problem. No problem.
This is definitely true. So you still got a shot. I do like JSN this week. Think he could have a big week, but you're gonna need it. So definitely wishing you luck. Now he also has JT in the number 2 waiver wire claim. So if JT potentially is missing, are you spending that on Trey Sermon? Oh, wait. Never mind. He's saying if Trey Sermon is taken. Okay, so I guess if the guy with the number 1 claim, but if he's not the JT owner, he's probably not doing that.
Yeah, he's probably not taking Trey Sermon, but you never know. Look, Rico Dowdle might have been dropped. Chase Brown might have been dropped. I don't know how deep your league is. Rico might have been dropped. Chase Brown might have been dropped. Who else? Who else is probably still out there at running back? Because again, we just give up on these guys, right? It's like they didn't do any. They only got 5 touches in week 1. Terrible. And then it's like, oh crap, I wish I had them back.
Look,
who else?
Again, always check too. Always check after waivers run. I bet you in some leagues somewhere, maybe not yours, someone will drop Travis Etienne. Like somebody will, maybe not Breece Hall, right? I don't think people are that crazy, but you never know. Somebody might drop like a Jerome Ford, like hey, he's not that great, somebody like that. So okay. I would prefer though, if you are the JT owner, I would try to get Trey Sermon though. That's probably just the best thing. I would not try to get a CEH.
No.
AV wants to know, is it safe to drop Romeo Doubs?
No, I mean, I just you probably weren't here when I was talking about it, but if you look at the Packers targets this week, you had Dontayvion Wicks with 13, Jaden Reed and Romeo Doubs with 8, and then you had Kraft with 7, and then nobody else had more than 3. I know it wasn't the biggest Romeo Doubs game. Romeo Doubs also had as many air yards as Jaden Reed. Now, the difference between Romeo Doubs and Jaden Reed is that Jaden Reed is one of the best in terms of yards after catch. In fact, he had 43 of his yards were after catch, and Romeo Doubs had 2. So Romeo Doubs is a guy you kind of just get, like, he catches and he gets tackled, right? That's kind of Romeo Doubs is, but he still has touchdown upside. I mean, eight targets, tied with Reed, like I said. It just wasn't his week. So I don't think I'm dropping Doubs.
If anything, it's kind of been not what we expected, but Doubs has kind of had a steady floor, right? He hasn't had a big game. He hasn't scored a ton of touchdowns yet. And of course, Jordan Love, hasn't been there most of the season yet, but Doubs has been involved even with Malik Willis at quarterback, right? Didn't Doubs have like 60 yards, 80 yards, something like that? I mean, yeah, with Watson out, no, I mean, you can. It depends on your league, of course. It's not like Doubs is you have to keep him, but I don't see a reason to drop him.
And he ran the most routes of all the wide receivers. In fact, you look at his numbers and Jaden Reed's numbers were exactly the same, except Jaden Reed caught 87% of his passes. Doubs only caught 50. And then, like I said, Jaden Reed had 40 plus yards after the catch, and Doubs had 2. So,
all right. Uwe2K, also from the baseball channel. So asking, is it safe to drop Carson Steele? Like, do you feel like
all those people who bid 25, 30, 35, 40% of their fab on Carson Steele? Oh, man. I don't know if I want to drop him yet, though. Again, just because he got benched in the game for fumbling doesn't mean that next week he's benched.
Right. Like, look, when you ask this, is it safe to drop him? Like, I don't think you're going to regret it and say, oh, man, there goes the league winner, Carson Steele.
Right.
Because I really feel like it's going to be a 3-man committee. You're going to see Kareem Hunt. You're going to see Samaje Perine. You're going to see Carson Steele. I just think there's limited upside here. Carson Steele feels more like a thing that we want to happen than is going to happen because he's in the Chiefs offense. So I think it's safe. But again, it's not like you have to drop him. Not like he's completely worthless. All right, Demetrios. Rice, yes, potentially done. So he gets to choose between Dontayvion Wicks and Michael Pittman. See,
it's got to be Michael Pittman. This is why Michael Pittman's on the buy low video, because we're comparing him to Dontayvion Wicks. Got to be Pittman.
See, somebody dropped Michael Pittman after a couple of bad weeks. This is what we're talking about. All right, let's go. Only a couple more. Look, the game. What do we got? 5 minutes till kickoff. Is that right?
Yep, 5 minutes till the unbelievable Dolphins-Titans game kicks off.
Yeah, I'm glad we're going to be busy recording, so I have an excuse not to watch. Anybody happen to have a last second start sit question for tonight before we get out of here? Let us know. We'll try to put it on there. If not, we'll do a couple more of these. Try to find a couple of players we haven't talked about.
Here's one. Oops.
All right. Interesting. Walker, JSN, it's full PPR.
I'm going JSN. Not a good matchup for Walker, plus Walker coming off injury. Let's go JSN.
Right. The matchup definitely favors JSN. Talked to us why I like him, because that slot receiver role against the Lions defense tends to do much better than the outside receivers. Their run defense is legit. And also concerns that Walker doesn't get full complement of touches coming back from injury. So if you need upside, it's definitely JSN this week. Jason Priddle, 4-0 because of CD and Rice. Now you don't have Rice. But I don't know if that means I want to trade CD.
If I'm trading, like if you're trading CD to help your wide receiver room, you need to at least get a very good wide receiver in return. So meaning like, I would say at worst, probably guys like Chris Olave. Maybe Garrett Wilson if you're willing to buy low on him. Devonta Smith, although he's not going to play this week. But then you also need to get something else in return. Like you can't just get one of those guys. You got to get one of those guys plus something else.
Yeah, I mean, you're saying, okay, I'm thin. The only reason to do this was you're getting two very good receivers now. But they have to be very good, like you said, like really good. So it's not like it isn't doable, but again, I don't know. It's like you're giving away your advantage. Well, I still have a stud receiver in CD, but then you don't if you trade him away. So only if you get two really, really good receivers that you could buy low. Like you might be able to get Garrett Wilson, on the cheap, right? Garrett Wilson seems like a good buy low right now.
Yeah, but you need something else with Garrett Wilson, not just
yeah. I mean, I'm talking like if you can get like Garrett Wilson and Brandon Ayuk, okay, maybe. All right, so JR said he had one earlier. Here we go. Needs to start a flex Walker or Jameson Williams. Tyreek Hill.
I think I'm going Walker here. It's not a great spot for Jameson Williams. I mean, sure, he could hit a long touchdown, but Kenneth Walker could score too. Kenneth Walker will get chances to score. I think in this case, I'm going Walker.
Yeah, don't feel good about JMO. It's interesting. You and your opponent both have half your lineups on Monday night. It's like Pollard, Waddle, and the kicker, and the Hill. Yeah, I'll go Walker here. Okay, Tyler C. St. Brown, yep, will be on bye. Detroit playing tonight, but they won't be playing next week. All right, so next week, Lamar or Love?
I know it's the Rams, but I still got to go Lamar.
Yeah, you probably still have to go Lamar. All right, Evans, Flowers, Cook, Connor, Berg. Okay, defense, New Orleans or Green Bay?
Wow, are we going to start? We're streaming against the Chiefs? I think I'm still going Green Bay against, who did I say they were playing? Somebody terrible.
The Rams.
Yeah, go Green Bay against the Rams. I'm not scared of the Rams.
Yeah, this Rams offense's version, they're competent, but no, you can still get some upside here. All right, so flexing Ridley, Shaheed, Odunze, or Bucky?
I'm going Shaheed. I know it should probably be Ridley, but man, Shaheed, it wasn't just like he didn't just catch a long touchdown yesterday. He got 11 targets. He ran a ton of routes. I'm going to go Shaheed.
Yeah, I can. Let me see. This doesn't say if it's PPR, does it? No. But still, I'm not ready to start Bucky over those guys. Odunze, I'll take a little step back from the Bears offense.
Yeah.
For now, it's either Shaheed or Ridley. Don't know what Ridley's going to do tonight. I like Ridley in general, but I think based on the matchup, let's go Shaheed. And that's it. I think that's it. All right, this one's for tonight. Brandon Duggar, Gibbs or K9?
Gibbs. He's healthy and he's in the better matchup. Gibbs.
Yes, definitely Gibbs. Lock him in there right now. All right, and then we got Louis Trejo. Traded Monty, Debo, and Amari for Tyreek Worthy and Mark Andrews. What do you think about that?
I mean, I like that you're getting Tyreek, and I just saw Adam Schefter said that Tua is symptom-free and expects to be back no later than week 8. So you only have to go after tonight. You only really have like a couple more games of whoever the Dolphins QB will be.
Yeah.
And look, Worthy has potential, but man, Mark Andrews, really? This is like Tyreek and Worthy for Monty, Debo, and Amari. And by the way, like the most tilting part of yesterday was Amari Cooper having a horrible game, by the way, not just for fantasy, but like a horrible game in real life, like the interception off his chest, terrible penalty, catching an 82-yard game-winning touchdown, and the refs calling a bogus holding call to ruin his back-to-back boom weeks. Bogus holding call. Horrendous holding call.
Yep, Frosty agrees.
Yeah, that was terrible, Frosty. But anyways, I'm taking the Monty side here.
Yeah, I mean, look, with a guy like Mark Andrews, I know it's like you think buy low, but sometimes it's just buy no. Like it's not changing, right? What did I say? We're 4 games in. They're just not only not targeting him, he's not even out there half the time. He's just like not even on the field anymore. Why? I don't know. They asked Todd Monken, and he was like, "Oh, really? I didn't realize that." Like he's not even aware of that Mark Andrews exists for some reason. I get the temptation with Worthy, but no, I think the first side is the better side here. We'll see. Maybe Mark Andrews turns it around for you. Maybe. All right. And then we got Daquan Brown, champ from last year.
Nice.
All right. Got to remember, of course.
Of course.
Back to business.
Sorry. I remember you. The picture of I can't tell if it's a small photo. I think that's a girl. Looks like your daughter. Your daughter there. I remember that picture from last year for sure.
There you go. That's what it's all about. So we're ready. 2023. That's the past. We're gonna win this year. Let's win it this year, right? Like Bill Belichick would say, right? Don't start counting your championships. Okay, so DJ Moore, Kirk at wideout. I guess we're just picking.
I think I gotta go Kirk. Kirk has another good matchup this week. DJ Moore, like, yeah, I need to see some consistency from Caleb.
I mean, he wasn't a bust because he scored and he should have scored another one. DJ Moore obviously didn't boom last week because nothing boomed on Chicago except for, of course, for DeAndre Swift after everybody dropped him. I got to go Kirk still, too. I like Kirk's matchup this coming week better. And that's what it is. It's not about my disappointment or, personal beef. And then, okay, are we going Freiermuth or apparently the King Njoku, assuming he plays?
If Njoku plays, it's Njoku.
Yes. Hopefully he does play. I think he probably will. Seemed like he was close to getting back. So there you go. And then we have Mike Daddy.
No, he did not. Boom against the Cowgirls. Another huge disappointment last week for sure.
It's interesting. This, like I was saying, the offenses, we were a lot of points scored last week. But if there's one thing that was disappointing is that the worst defenses played pretty well. Like the Cowboys run defense, the Commanders actually sort of played defense.
I know.
It's just one of those weeks where it was flipped around. It happens. All right. We're pretty much caught up. I think we're caught up. The game has kicked off, I believe. Or about to kick off.
It has kicked off. And so far we've had 2 penalties and 7 yards. That's still early. Still early.
It is still early. Still time for plenty of more penalties. Don't worry. All right. So we're going to get out here and let you guys watch the game. And we're going to get you ready for week 5 with start sit. You're going to start seeing them drop as soon as tomorrow. And, of course, hit subscribe if you haven't already. Notifications so you know when we go live again tomorrow night. Chris, I'm going to have to let him take it himself because I will be on flight. But then I'll be back Wednesday. And then also, you got questions at any time of the day or night, use the app. It's called Draft Lane. So if you haven't downloaded it yet, check it out. Draft Lane is completely free to download, App Store, Play Store, and you can get in contact with us. That's right. You ask a question, one of us will respond directly to you, just like we do here. Start, sit, waiver wire trade, or you can just ask a general question if you have something else in mind. Again, keep it fantasy football related. All right. Thank you. And we will see you guys again very soon.